Hey guys, so Madeline and I were outside helping Blake with yard work. He asked me to start pulling all these leaves out of the ground, or all these weeds out of the ground, because they're kind of taking over our lawn. So while I was doing that, I was thinking, well, in science right now, we're supposed to be working on life science, and actually if we were in the classroom, we would use these tanks to create a terrarium, or our own little ecosystem in a tank. And so I thought, well, since I'm out here, maybe I can make one with this stuff in my yard. So that's what we're gonna do, okay? So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to take an old plant pot that I have, because all my plants usually die because I'm terrible at gardening. And I'm gonna use the soil to put in the bottom of my soil. I'm gonna fill the bottom of the terrarium with just a thin layer of soil. And because it rained, this soil is already kind of damp, which is awesome. Okay, so thin layer of soil. So I'm not really sure if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna attempt to put some of these weeds or bushes that were growing in the middle of our lawn into my terrarium. Help me. So here's some of the, I'm gonna try to find one with a shorter root. Let's see. This is a small one, so maybe I'll put that in there. Maybe this one. Sorry, Madeline is trying to help hold the camera. Alright, so I've got my plants in there. So I'm gonna look around my yard to try to find anything else we could put in our... So we found some sticks, a couple sticks, and some rocks that we're gonna add to our terrarium. So I'm putting in the rocks. I'm gonna break some sticks. All right, so an ecosystem has living and non-living things. So let's think about, in my terrarium, what's living and non-living. We have soil, non-living, rocks, non-living, sticks, which when they were part of the tree, they were living, but now that they have fallen off, they are non-living. And then I have these plants. These plants are living, but I'd really like to add something else to this ecosystem that is living. So I'm gonna look around my yard for isopods. Okay, so I was only able to find one isopod. I think it's because I'm looking in the middle of the day and they're probably trying to go down where it's cooler under the ground. But here's one. And you've probably seen them. We call them roly-polies. And I'm going to have another lesson about isopods, so stay tuned for that. But I'm going to go ahead and put this one isopod in my terrarium. And then I'm going to come back outside later and try to find more. So I brought my terrarium back inside because that's where it's going to be kept during the day. And I'm in my guest room right now where I've been working, coming up with some lessons for you guys. I got my science kits. And when I'm looking around this room, I know right now to you it might seem kind of bright, but it's actually very dim. And so I don't think I want to keep the terrarium in here because I know that living things need sunlight. And this room doesn't get a lot of sunlight. So I'm going to try to find a better place. All right, so I've moved this little table into my dining room, and I think this is what I'm going to use for my science table, just to keep my living things. I like this room because it's bright, and it's right next to a window, so during the day, I can open the blinds and give my habitat some sunlight. And then if it gets too bright, like in the afternoons, the sun is shining right on my house, so it might get a little too much sun, and so I can close the blinds. But sun will still be coming into this room. So it's nice and bright for my little ecosystem. Looking in a flower bed, and I found some more. I'm gonna keep looking, but I'm not gonna video while I'm looking because it's starting to rain. Here they are. So here are a few that I found in the yard. And there's a bunch of different sizes and colors, which is pretty cool. And if you look on this one, for example, at the back, you can see eggs. So I think if I can keep the habitat going, we'll have some babies. The eggs stay at the back under their bellies, those white spots on the bottom. Those are her eggs. So it's pretty cool. I'm going to add them to the habitat. Okay. So now they're in there. And they have shelter. They have food. They eat producers, which are the plants. They are also decomposers, so they'll eat like old leaves and things. They'll break them down. And yeah, we just have to keep the soil moist for them to keep alive. We'll check back in a couple days.